So in the book, The International Player, I teach about the 3 phases to grow the business or to start the business. And the first one is called the start phase. Second one is called the sustain phase. And the third one is called the growth phase. By identifying where you are at, you'll play a different game. So when someone comes to a seminar, workshop, and so on, without reading this book, without understanding which phase they're in, that's where when they go back, they become frustrated because they try to apply what they have learned on a different phase. It doesn't work that way. Example, if I'm in a big seminar, like for instance, I will have hundreds of people in my seminars. If I ask the question like, what is the biggest problem to get sales or make money online? Can you guess what will be the answer? What do you think that they will say? That their biggest challenge to make money online? What? Precisely, you're so right. They will say, my biggest problem is I don't have traffic. How to get traffic, right? But then, that is your least problem. Because they are thinking, while they are here, they are thinking on other things right now. Why would you need traffic if you don't have a business? Why would you need traffic if you don't have a converting offer yet? What's the point? You just think about opening a shop in Siam Icon, right? And you have nothing to sell. Like you go to the shopping mall and say, I want to rent a place there because you have a lot of traffic. People walk out, but you have nothing to sell, right? That would be crazy, right? I mean, why would you do that? Why would you spend to rent a place in Siam Icon or Paragon? I'm not too sure what's the, you know what? I'm just going to use Emporium because that's where I went yesterday. So that's the name that I know, Emporium. Why would you want to rent a place in Emporium beside Prada or something like that and you have nothing to sell? Doesn't make sense. But that's what newbies think on the internet. You got to have your store first, then only you want to get traffic. So anyway, going back to here, let's go through some of the key highlights. I don't have time to go through 130 pages. So I'm going to show with you the key highlight here. Start phase. Start phase. So the first thing is this. Why most people never got started? Now, this is not your challenge because most of you have gotten started. But then again, why you haven't go to the next level of massive action, right? And while there are a lot of challenges that we have, whether it's time, whether it's resources, whether it's motivation, but the real answer is this. People don't get started because they don't have a compelling reason to get started. That's only matter. There's no compelling reason. Compelling reason means a reason that you must do it. It is not a matter of whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it, right? Now, I have my compelling reason and that's why I got started. You must understand that I come from a poor family, right? Now, when I say poor, it is not that our rooftop has holes and water is dripping and then, we don't even have a fan. We're not that poor, we're just poor, all right? We're not super poor. We stay in flat, like a 5-story flats. I have my video. If you go to YouTube, you can watch my video where I used to stay in a flat. We don't have AC, we don't have air conditioner, we don't have any of those. There's no lift, none of those, right? But we weren't that poor. We're just poor because my dad is a taxi driver. I think taxi drivers all around the world, they're not very rich, right? I mean, taxi drivers in Thailand, they're not very rich. Same with Malaysia, they're not very rich, but they earn enough to feed the family. Got 3 siblings. My mom's a housewife. And I didn't finish school. I mean, I finished school, but I never go to college, universities and stuff like that because I wasn't smart enough apparently. And I don't have money to go to college. There's this moment where your parents are not very rich and they're gonna give out all their savings for you to continue going to college. it just doesn't make sense that you can never take that money. So, I started working on this kind of stuff. So, the next thing I'll teach you is more on the business aspect in this book I shared, is that the first product that you create in the digital business should be a free product. You should not burden yourself to think of some courses or paid product and things like that. It should be just a free product. And the formula of a free product, if you want to do it right, is that just put this basic benchmark. Would someone pay for it if it's not free? Write that down. That is the biggest tip I can give to you. Would someone pay for it if it's not free? Even if it's just for a very small amount of money, maybe just for $1 or $2, right? Would someone actually pay for it? Now, if this free product, someone will not pay for it, doesn't matter whatever amount is, it means that you haven't done a good job yet for your free product. It means that this doesn't pass the QC, the QA, whatever you call it, the quality assurance, it didn't pass. So all of my free products are actually paid products that are given away for free to build the brand and to build the database, right? It is not a free product that trying to so-called entice and get the database for the sake of getting the database. Because if you fail that process, right, as in like your content or your free product doesn't carry on your brand, it defeats the purpose of building your database. Because then you're not going to build your brand and build your credibility. So the next logic is this. If you cannot succeed with free product, it means it's very hard for you to succeed with paid product. Just think it this way, right? If you have a paid product and you're giving away for free and you still cannot build the business, how could you sell a product? So don't go to the next phase until you've done this first. So the next one is called the sustain phase. So which means that once you got started internally, as in like your mind is congruent, you understand the philosophy, and you have technically got started, right? You are building, you are making some money on the internet, you got started, then you go to the sustain phase. This is where many people missed out. What happened is that many people who got started into this game, from start phase, then they jump to growth phase. They miss out the between phase here, and that is where when they go to the growth phase, they become overwhelmed because they haven't passed this stage. Or sometimes the whole business died because it's not ready to grow yet. In our industry, in terms of internet marketers, whoever who is with me for the past 20 years, so to speak, like Russell Brunson, we all got started together somewhere around the same period of time. Those people who are still here today right now are usually very successful, right? Because they have been building the business correctly, or they are gone. Like they're not in the game anymore because they miss out this part here. So what is the sustain phase here? First one is you must master speed to sell. When you grow, or should I say after you have started at the sustain phase, your job is to focus on selling as many as possible. It's not focusing about making money that much yet, but selling. Now, what do I mean by selling? Speed to sell basically means that you need to get your products into the market as many as possible. Right? This is going to help you to build your customer base. So you start with free database, and then you move to paid database. As these are the ones that will be loyal to you. You need customer database right now, not free subscribers. When you talk about speed to sell, it also means this is where you enhance upon your brand. If you have a good product, let's say you have a good book and many people are reading the book, right? Your brand will start to get into the market very, very, very quickly. In this book, I share the story of Xbox. 360 because the first book was published in, I think it's 2014, 2015, the first book. This is the second edition that has been updated. During that time, when I first read this book was Xbox 360. That's why I'm telling you a lot of my examples related to the movies or related to the games, right? So that time, Microsoft launched the first game console, not the first, but the premium one is called Xbox 360. And Xbox 360 has this problem called the red light problem. It's a very famous issue that time. I'm going to try again. How many of you play Xbox? Raise your hand. Okay. All right, so I got to spend a bit more time to explain about this. That time there is PS3 or PS4. It was somewhere around that same time. Right? There was the time where everyone is pushing their game consoles. Right? I got both. I got PS4 and I got Xbox, right? Because there are some games that it was not in PS, like Gears of War. You heard of this game called Gears of War? Or games like Splinter Cell. It's a really high-rated games. You can only play on computer or PS or Xbox. So while there's this huge problem called the red light problem, Microsoft doesn't stop selling its consoles that are defective. They continue selling their consoles anyway, despite having all the problems. So what they do is that they give you 100% warranty. Spoil, it's okay. You send to us, we'll ship you back a new one. That's it. They literally make losses by doing that. Because the red light problems doesn't end in one console. You could be having that problem on your second console, the third console, and fourth console. This problem just continue to go on. But they were selling it anyway. Why? Because if they are slow, Sony would have eaten up the entire market. They need the market more than selling the consoles. Why? Because they have the backends, which are the games. They make royalty from the games. Like for instance, games like Call of Duty, they make more money than a blockbuster movie. Like, do you know like these games, Call of Duty games, they would make hundreds of millions. They could make more money than Black Adams. And Microsoft will earn passive income from every unit of Call of Duty games being sold. Right? So that's an example of speed to sell. Whatever problem that you have, right, fix it later. Now get sales in first. Sell your product first. Make sure you have a strong team of customer support to deal with the after problem. Because as far as I have learned, the lesson in business is this. If you have sales, all problems solved. So there are people who are perfectionists and say, I need to, no. If you get sales, all of your problems solved, because if you get sales, you have generated cash flow, you can solve all your problems. Okay? The next one is positioning your brand and your persona. So this is the part where you need to let the market knows what you stand for. What is your brand about? If you sell physical products, for instance, Cham's example is that he sells physical products for those who are praying to Indian gods. Now, I'm sure that there are many other sellers. What differentiates you is your brand. You must be known for something that is different than everybody else. So when it comes to brand, it is not about how you wear, how smart you look like and stuff like that. It's about what you promise to your customers and you delivering that. Think about it. What is a brand? A brand is nothing than an idea, an asset that allow customer to trust you. That's all. Why you wear branded clothes? Apart than being glamorous, is because you believe you believe that brands give you good quality. So we're not talking about, like, example, Chanel, Prada, and so on, because those are glamorous brands, right? Of course, their quality is really good. Like if you use, say, Louis Vuitton purse or wallet, you will know that the leather, after 10 years, it will still be the same. I mean, it will not spoil, right? I mean, you can use it for a really, 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 really long time, right? But of course, there are also other leathers that can last that long. But let's talk of a moderate brands, like, I will tell you the brands that I like. For instance, I like Adidas a lot, right? I think my friends at the back, you also know that every time I go out, apparently I always wear Adidas, right? Because I like that brand a lot. But why would you pay more compared to other brands that are cheaper, right? Because you feel cooler in that brand. Not cooler, it doesn't make you feel cooler, you just feel cool. Like, the 3 stripes make you feel cool. Like, but more importantly, I feel confident that it has the quality there. Let's say sports shoes, right? So if you know, we're talking about moderate stuff. We're not talking really expensive stuff, right? I'm talking about moderate stuff, but slightly more expensive. Like Adidas is known for its Ultra Boost shoe. I'm pretty sure that you have heard of that, Ultra Boost. So all of my jogging shoes are Ultra Boost Adidas. It's not extremely expensive, it's just moderate, right? But it is more expensive than any other normal jogging shoes. In fact, inside Adidas as well. Why? Because it has the brand that when I wear that, I can be assured of good quality. So think about it, right? Doesn't it mean that having your brand means the customer can trust you? And then the way how you differentiate yourself is by mastering your persona. So this is what I teach in my advanced class, positioning and the persona. End of the day, when it comes to digital business, it is your persona, it is you who attract your customers.